All right, well, here are the match stats for this game as Manchester City definitely take 3 valuable points. Let's have a look at the standings. Arsenal still in front heading into the international break, but Manchester City breathing down their backs. And that's a story we have seen play out before. Let's get some reaction from this game. Here's Arne Slot.
Of course, everyone is disappointed. So it was a very good start of the week. Winning Villa, winning Real Madrid. But if you thought you already faced 2 strong opponents, then Man City comes across you. Away, also at the Etihad, that is for every team difficult, including us. And they were by far the much better side in the first half.
All right, Stevie, where to even start with this?
I think you got to start with Manchester City totally and utterly outplayed Liverpool.
And did that surprise you a little bit?
It surprised me, the dominance that they had, yeah. And other than maybe 5 minutes after half-time, where Liverpool looked as though they were trying to get back in it, that was it from Liverpool. I mean, we laughed at Spurs yesterday, how it took them so long to get a shot. Well, Liverpool were the same today.
Yeah.
73 minutes, Donnarumma made his first save from Szoboszlai. I mean, that just tells you how this game went. And there's only one thing that really annoyed me about the game, was Arne Slot sat on his hands in the first half and changed nothing. Liverpool were getting completely and utterly overrun in the middle of the park, and he did nothing. You know, you've got Mo Salah standing wide on the left-hand side. He might as well have been sat in a deck chair watching what's going on. You know, Florian Wirtz doesn't know how to defend properly. And they were getting completely outnumbered in the middle because Doku was using his brains and he was either wide or sometimes he'd come in. I mean, he was all over the place. And he did nothing. I mean, at least affect the game. You know, tell people to come in, get more bodies in the middle of the park, and so they have to go at least on the outside. But do something. You can't just sit there and let the thing happen. Because all he did was sit and let the game pan out in the first half the way it had from the first whistle. You can't do that. That annoyed me more than anything else. Listen, Liverpool, at the end of the day, got what they deserved, nothing. They couldn't string 3-4 passes together at any stage. And when you're doing that against a City team that at the very least keep the ball well, then you're never going to get a hold of it yourself. So, yeah, this was absolutely 3-0 is absolutely what it should have been.
He seems to be getting the decisions the wrong way around, doesn't he? We sat and talked here. Stevie thought Gakpo would play. Yeah. We didn't know if Wirtz was going to play. But he's the type of player, and certainly at this moment in time, because he's not playing as we know he can from his Leverkusen days, that you should be getting more of a tune out of him like they did against Real Madrid at home. But away from home, when you need a bit more physicality against one of the better teams who have got a lot of possession, you have to say that's another managerial error in playing Wirtz in this game and not Gakpo. And Stevie mentioned changing things. He did change it, but not until half-time, when he put Ekitike a bit further wider and he put Wirtz in that false 9, and they got a little bit of joy, but it was short-lived. It was short-lived. And I was just surprised in the first 20 minutes how standoffish they were, and basically allowed City to do what they wanted with the ball. And yeah, the decision probably went against them with the Robertson ducking and the offside from the Virgil van Dijk header. But I think if you're putting that up as an argument, which I don't think many people are, as to that was a game changer, it really wasn't. It really wasn't a game changer, because Liverpool were second best for 80 to 85 minutes of this game, and that's a worry. But on the other side of it, City were good. Yeah. You know, there's no Rodri. Nico Gonzalez did a great job. Phil Foden picked up some good spaces. Doku was excellent. Bernardo Silva playing in the right and floating about was excellent. Erling Haaland was his usual self. Nico O'Reilly, he's not even a fullback, the young lad. And Mo Salah never got a kick. Matheus Nunes, he's a midfielder. He's playing it right back. Never got under any pressure. All these things in the City side, you said, well, they've got 2 non-fullbacks playing in the fullback positions, and we're supposed to be one of the best teams in Europe. Surely we can get at them. They never got at them. And so City had it easy. They played well. They passed it well. They looked dangerous. They looked pacey. They were excellent. And Liverpool, I'm afraid, what is it? John Champion said on NBC, 7 defeats in 10 in all comps, 5 and 6 in the Premier League. So the Villa and the Real Madrid games have sort of gone already. All that good work.
I mean, Liverpool lucky that this wasn't the City of 3 years ago. Otherwise, it would have been double.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, Haaland wasn't in the game that much. You know, considering the amount of ball that City had, they didn't do as much with it as they should have done. And you're talking about Doku. That's what Wirtz is supposed to be doing. They're both playing in the same position, and they're both asked to do the same thing. Sometimes you can go wide, sometimes come inside and do it. And that's what Doku did. He came inside. I mean, in the first half, I didn't think he had this in his locker. He played the best pass of the game to Phil Foden, who'd run right through the middle of the Liverpool's back line. Yeah. And only because Foden had a bad touch on his right foot, they got away with it. But that was the best pass of the game. He gets the penalty. He scores the goal, sticks it in the top corner. All of the things that he did in this game, the other guy on the other side was supposed to be doing that, not Doku.
Because the manager doesn't know what his best team is. From an away game, can I play Wirtz away from home? Or maybe play him at home because it's a bit easier, we've got a bit more ball, but away from home... I mean,
what would you change? I mean, I'm sitting watching it and I'm going, Salah's a passenger again.
I find it difficult to... I have a difficulty seeing Gakpo as the man that misses out.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a guy who, even when he's not playing well, he's a danger at the back post. He'll come inside and he'll create something or he'll score a goal. And he's always making those runs. And I just find that, and you know, the fact that he's been left out the side, and Mo Salah, who, let's be honest about it, has done nothing all season, literally nothing, right? Barely got a kick today. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago after the Chelsea defeat. When he's not scoring, creating and being a nuisance, he's offering no defensive help.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, he did not come back once of any note and help Conor Bradley out. Not once. And that, you know, he couldn't see that the young man was up against it with Doku, who was on fire. So what happens then is midfielders have to start coming out because he ain't coming back, which people say, well, he's never came back. But yeah, he's scoring 30-plus goals a year. He ain't doing that now, and he ain't defending. So when he doesn't come back, Gravenberg or McAllister have to shuffle out here, and guess what? Then you're overrunning the middle of the park away. So when you don't have everybody pulling in the right direction, when the proverbial is hitting the fan, and it is for Liverpool at the moment, then you start to see the weak points in the rest of the team. And I'm sorry, I don't care if they're paying him 500 grand a week or not, whatever it is. His place in the team has to be up for grabs.
Right, and that's the next question, because how do you change it? Because you look at the bench, I mean, the obvious change would be Frimpong, but he's injured, and he's been injured all season. So what do? Do you stick... I mean, who do you put out there? You're not putting Keys out there. I mean, you're not. He's not good enough. So after Frimpong, there's nobody else. Unless you're going to fling Gakpo on the right-hand side, which takes away his best attribute, which is coming inside and whipping balls in or coming in at the far post for crosses, played across. Do you switch Wirtz over there? You've just paid a record transfer fee, but you're going to put him somewhere where he's never played. I mean, so there's not a lot of choice. But at the end of the day, I absolutely think you have to wake Salah up by sitting him on his backside and try and get on with it, because he needs a wake-up call. Because he clearly doesn't realise he's not contributing enough. Because if he did realise that, he would try and get back. You know, whether he can defend or not isn't the point. At least show willing and get yourself back in a position where you're going to try. But he's not. As I said before, he's standing on the line, waiting on somebody getting him the ball. And that's it. That's all he's doing. And then, unfortunately, right now, giving it back to the opposition.
If things continue like this for Liverpool, of course, Arne Slot now has the international break to ponder a few things. But Stevie, as you said, I mean, we've been talking about this for weeks and weeks now. Well, is the title race over for them?
Oh, God. Have you ever seen
I wouldn't throw it in yet. But the way that... No, the way
Not yet.
The way they're playing, yes. The way they're playing.
Because it's not looking like an easy fix that we're going to see in the next 2 to 4 weeks.
10 league games. Is it 10? And we're talking about one of those 10 games where they've actually played from the start to the finish, which was Villa.
I mean, it's I'm not, look.
Just because they've won games before, in terms of performance,
oh yeah,
they've been absolutely bang average and gotten away with. They've gotten away with being in 8th right now.
I mean, they're 8 points off. So, look, I'm glass half full here.
Wow.
Sure, at some point you've got to look to the manager to get this team on a run. Yeah. Now, we kept saying that last year about Man City. This will end. Next week, they'll put it all behind them and they'll go on some incredible run, because that's what City do, and it never happened, right? It didn't happen. They couldn't stop the free fall. But they arguably had more injuries to key players than Liverpool have had. This manager just can't figure it out at this moment. And he can thank his lucky stars they had Villa at home last week and beat them. Never mind the Real Madrid game. Look, if they keep playing the way they are, it goes without saying, they'll be lucky to make the top 4. That's how bad it has been. But from the other side of it, I think if you're Arsenal, who had a little slip up, obviously at Sunderland, who
props to them.
Yeah, props to them. And they're in the top 4.
Yeah.
They are physical. They've had a great run. They don't mind getting it forward quickly. They don't mind a bit of a scrap. They can play a little bit as well. So Arsenal didn't get it all their own way, and then you look over your shoulder and say, maybe City are just not going to go away. Yeah, they've got their little cracks here and there with the defence and whatnot. But boy, it wasn't just relying on Erling Haaland today. There was performances from other players, quite a few of them, particularly Doku. So I think that was a little marker from City that potentially they could push Arsenal this season and put last year behind them. Because at the moment, it looks that they're the only team that are capable of doing so.
But do you see them getting there, at least halfway there now?
No, because, Nico Riley did a great job, and Matthias Nunes, they weren't under any pressure, but they're never going to be, Kyle Walker and whoever it was at left backs, never going to, Diaz and Stones and Akanji and the Palm. That's kind of not there anymore. So they're getting by with what they have. I mean, they signed Ert-Nouri from Wolves to play left back, and we said it all along. He's not a very good defender. To be honest, he's decent on the ball. He's not a good defender. So there are still areas of this City side that could come back and bite them on the bum.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
They've got a consistency about them now, right?
Yeah,
but there's still holes, and luckily for them, unlucky for Liverpool.
I just don't think Liverpool did enough today.
No, they never even got close to taking advantage of those holes that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen every week. There are going to be games and teams that will question City's back line. It just so happened today they weren't questioned at all. And so you kind of forget about it. But the truth is, you can get at Man City. Unfortunately for Man City, they're not going to play Liverpool every week.
Well, I said that Jeremy Doku looks pretty lively in there. Craig, you said that was an understatement. He was excellent.
Is
he
the best player on the field.
undroppable now, do you think?
Well, you want to drop him?
No, I would never.
Well, listen.
Well, he's playing the next game. Let's put it that way.
Look,
But in terms of he's becoming that player.
If 7 or 8 games down the line his form falls away, there's plenty of players who will come in and replace you. I think one of the things, and I'm sure the City managers talked to Doku about it, he's a young lad, youngish, and what you find with the younger players is consistency. And he's a player that will do and has done special stuff and then has just faded away, even within a game. And what we've seen lately from him is a little bit more consistency, particularly in his end product. Doku will beat people, he'll go on these runs, but then the end product has to be there. And we're starting to see that from him. And at the end of the day, that's what makes the better players, is what they do in the final third with the final pass, the final ball, the cross. And he was excellent at that today. And when you've got that kind of pace as well, it frightens defenders to
He's only 23. I mean,
he's
only 23 years old. I was taken aback when I thought he was about 25, 26. But, at 23 years old, doing what he did in this game with the size of this game, just shows that he's actually matured. I mean, this is a guy that we all thought he's a left winger, he's going to go to his defender, he's going to use his pace, and he's going to have that little tricky. And then today we saw a different player. We saw a guy in the middle of the park picking balls up, playing the type of pass that I was talking about that he put Foden through, and then he's going wide, and then he's skinning the defender, and then he's getting brought down. I mean, if he keeps maturing the way he has this season, then you're talking about a different a different quality completely.
Erling Haaland, I mean, missed the penalty today, but we can't judge him on that. I mean, what more can we say about him?
He got lucky.
You think he got lucky?
Yeah.
Did he? Did he? Or did he? I mean,
you can't fault. He put himself in a position where he got a break.
Are we saying it just hit him?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
You don't think he was waiting for it?
I think he's done what good centre forwards do. They expect it to be missed, but actually don't really. So he's kind of gone through the motions of making up. As he's in the air, I'm 100% sure he's saying, "Well, Kanati's getting this," but he's done what you should do. You just never know. So he's got himself in the right place. But yeah, it's hit him. It's hit him in a great spot, right in the middle of the forehead. But it's hit him.
He's got a good forehead.
Yeah.
What I didn't like about some of the at Liverpool today, and I think it was when the third goal went in, is that everybody just turned around with their shoulders.
There was an acceptance, wasn't there?
At the end, there was no going round like,
riling everyone back up.
Right, whether right or wrong, playing the blame game. Just there's nobody going round saying, "You never tried." They just all turned round. You seen all the red jerseys, hunched shoulders, and that was the right word, the acceptance.
Yeah.
And there was the one guy, I think, and I'm not suggesting they were not putting the effort in, because they were, but the one guy again who maybe didn't have his best game but still was Szoboszlai was just working and grafting and running. Never got much change, to be fair, but just at least had a bit of aggression.
And at least he had a kick. He had a kick.
He had a kick. Yeah, he did. He had a kick or two. He ruffled a few. He was working hard. He chased back. He continued this theme of it cared.
Right.
I just got a feeling today with Liverpool, it was not that they didn't care, but as it sort of went against them, it was a little bit feeling sorry for yourself.
You can't argue that every great team, never mind good team, need a base and a platform that can be relied upon. And there is absolutely no doubt that this season, that platform at the back with Kanati and Van Dijk is not doing what it's supposed to. And unfortunately for them, the platform in midfield of Gravenberg and McAllister, they are not producing what they did produce last year either. So right up the middle of your team, the base, the spine, whatever you want to call it, is just not at the races whatsoever. And so you shouldn't really be surprised when the team's struggling.
Because they got, and it is a little surprise as well, because they didn't have to go to this Club World Cup. I always struggle to say that.
Because you erased it from your mind.
Even getting it out, it just hurts. But lots of teams did, and we discussed how it would affect the players. Liverpool didn't, so I don't know how they never give the players as long as they used to get off, but they would have had a pretty clean summer to go away. Premier League champions.
Did some good business, as at least we thought.
Did a lot of good, but now, look, there was the tragedy that hit the club and the players and everybody surrounding it. You can never measure how that affects anybody. You just can't quantify it. It's just such a terrible incident. So you don't know how much that took out the dressing room. But in terms of the rest and recuperation they got, it was pretty perfect from that perspective. Then all the new signings coming in. Yes, you lost Alexander-Arnold, and Diaz goes to Bayern Munich. Big players for them. He's a player, Diaz, that could have fitted in for Mo Salah because he's struggling, but he hasn't sort of got him anymore. But in terms of being fresh and sharp, I know McAllister's had a few little niggles, but he just doesn't look like the player that we know he is, and Gravenberg looks a little lost in there. So straight down the spine of the team, they've been having their problems.